wrapped up in my sleeping bag, looking out the window at Aaron's house as the sun is beginning to creep over the horizon. And the trees are silhouetted black against the emerging blue sky with the fading stars up in the sky. And I think to myself how much I hate Aaron because he's got it fucking made with this fantastic house of his, this nice little piece of property tucked away out in the backwoods of South Dakota. God, I fucking hate him. I hope he dies. I hope he dies of syphilis. You piece of shit.
All right. This may sound like a very dark and dour topic. Shut up, nobody cares about. It's not. It's not that pessimistic, but I did want to slap you across your face to make you all pay attention because we all need to learn how to have good conversation. You need to learn the art of conversation. And the reason that's very important is because all things, all, not some, all things come from other human beings. You want food that comes from a farmer. You want to get laid that comes from a woman or a man. But, you girls, oh my God, I'm horny. Oh, success. I don't get it. It's so easy. Aside from that. All right. So you want a job? You have to send it. You have to communicate with humans. So you need to understand the art of conversation. And the number one rule about the art of conversation is that nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about you. They care about themselves. My dad put it the best way, and he's not that bright of a man, so he must have got it from somewhere else. He said, all conversation is people waiting impatiently to talk about themselves. And he may have read, it's not a bad book, by the way. If you want to read a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People, I forget the author's name, but I have read that book. I didn't want to read that book, but I did read it. And it's kind of the same principle where he went into a party. He tells the story when he went into a party and he talked to a botanist, right? Dale Carnegie. He's the author. He's the guy, Dale Carnegie. So he finds this guy at a party, and the guy's a botanist. And Dale Carnegie knew nothing of botany. I don't know anything about it. And all he did was ask this guy about botany. In part, probably because Dale had a genuine interest in botany, and I never heard about it. Like if you said, I heard pigs. Well, I got a couple questions for you. I met a real interesting gal. She does billboard advertisements. Kind of the same thing. This field, what's that like? That's interesting. And what ended up happening at this party with the botanist and Dale Carnegie is Dale Carnegie just talked to the guy for like 2 hours, ask him all about botany. Dale Carnegie didn't say one fucking thing about himself. And this guy thought Dale Carnegie was the best guy ever. And they ended up becoming real friends. And inevitably down the road, I'm sure this guy asked Dale Carnegie about himself. But the point is, they think, tell me about this guy. Oh, he's the greatest guy ever. When ironically, you never said one thing about yourself. They don't know a thing about you, but you made them feel good because people want to talk about themselves. And if you could get that rule down, you got to understand that lesson. I'm not saying you're going to go to Toastmasters and be this great speaker. I'm not saying you're going to be, wooing women with your words, but you're going to get a lot further than, it's not the only generation, but right now, you Zoomers and millennials, you're baby, 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 me. I'm not saying this as an insult. I understand that only anybody really has is themselves in terms of existence, and other people, it's not that you necessarily want to be validated or vindicated, but in order to live in society, you must be acknowledged and responded to and integrated and reciprocally invested in by other people in society. I get that. But you like me. And if everybody else is going in there, me. Nobody's liking us or you. How about you? What about us? What about them? It's just a little bit of mental jujitsu. You get this one trick down, you go way further than you thought. And I had a client, good client, no problem, but holy fucking shit, the follow-up emails. And in full intellectual honesty, he says, are you really busy or am I talking too much? I said both. I don't do it because I'm a dick. I don't want him to fail or feel bad. I do it because if he keeps emailing people or talking to people like that, just a flood about himself, you think anyone's going to invest in you? You think anyone's going to care? I'm not saying that you never talk about yourself. I'm not saying you just live this, you're alone in a room full of people where no one is asking you about, but you better get used to that. That's not the worst thing ever. I would argue, and that's a good thing, is to go into a room. It's almost like testing whether you're going to be more sentient than the other people, right? It's almost like a scientific experiment. You go in, this happens. It's very interesting. I'll go into a room. I'm a little bit more social than the average person. Like I can interact. I'll ask people about themselves, right? Oh, that's interesting. How does that go? Every once in a while, I'll mention something if it's germane to the topic of conversation and an anecdote and a story that I had. But I don't tell people what I do. I wait till they ask. There's no reason to mention it. And then I talk to the GF. She's a little more introverted. And I say, did anyone ask you what you did for a living? Did anyone ask you about you? And a lot of times she's like, no one asked me about me. And it's not the worst thing ever. Because again, people are primarily interested in themselves. And if you can make them feel good about themselves and you allow them to talk about themselves, and then you ask them follow-up questions about themselves, by God, you got a friend in me. Or somebody who really likes you, which again, I say philosophically, that's interesting because you know nothing about me, but that doesn't matter. And I don't like this 48 laws of power. I don't like the mental jujitsu. This is how you get power and you backstab. It's like, dude, do you genuinely want to be friends with people or not? That's where I kind of, the 48 laws of power. And as far as I can tell with the 48 laws of power, it's prickish hot middle school girl behavior. Be better than the other person, tell people to fuck off, ignore people, need them less than they need you. And then they're not wrong, but you're not a human being that people can get to know or form friendships with. So I don't go to the point where it's like war, where I got this trick. Oh, I'm casting a magic spell. They like me. It is, and it's not even greasing the skids. You can't really succeed in life without people liking you and wanting to reciprocally invest in you, right? And it takes nothing to shut up and ask people about themselves. That will get you on their good side and open up doors and get them to counter invest in you. For example, you go to a party, right? There's somebody there who's, I'm trying to think of something that, they're a cop. Let's just say a unique-ish kind of job. Oh, what's that like? What's training like? Any story? Not that you would do that because you want to get this man's help later. All right. You would ideally like to find someone that is friendly, you're intellectually interested in, and you have a friendship. But down the road, you say, hey, I got a project. I need another person to help out. Do you mind coming over? I'll get you some beers and some pizza. And now you got a friendship forming, right? But you also got a friend who's going to help you out. Now, I'm not saying you do that to create future slaves out of charity and kindness. That's not it. That person is now interested in you. They will reciprocally invest in you as a human being. And then they're going to want to spend time with you. Why? Because they feel good when they're around you. Your time to talk about yourself will come. All right. And it should be meted out slowly over time. Not, let me tell you everything about my dad. I thought about. You're not a hot girl with big tits that men are going to feign interest in caring about because they want to fuck you. And by the way, ladies, even if you are a hot girl with big tits, no guy cares what you say. They, honest to God, no one cares. They just want to fuck you. All right? Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, tell me more about your social work degree. Oh, yeah. I hate Donald Trump too. Yeah. Touch P now? That's if you girls must know, but getting back to a more secular approach, regardless of sexual interest or not, it's a real simple rule, real simple axiom to understand. Nobody cares about you. Shut the fuck up. Right? And in previous videos, I've talked about, okay, how you can't just shut the fuck up. Obviously, I'm giving you, but it's a good default position, right? If you don't know what to say, shut up. It's perfectly fine. It's better to be quiet than you blather off your zillennial diarrhea about your feelings and emotions, because you know what the other zillennials in the party want to do? Barf out their feelings and emotions. No one's listening to each. If you just shut the fuck up and listen and acknowledge you were listening with a follow-up question, you're going to be the most popular man in the room. And so you can't just, and you don't want to go the other extreme either. You don't want to become an interrogator. We just question for the sake of questions. You got to throw a little bit of yourself in there a little bit. For example, let me show you how to, because I know you're all autistic, right? Because your parents and teachers said so. It's not that you didn't have a dad or went from a broken family. No, you just have everyone's got the autism apparently, including the kids that actually have it. That's a joke, son. Let's say you go to an interview. What is the best interest of the Karen asking you? Her best interest is trying to figure out whether you're a good candidate. So you're not going to ask her questions about her personality. Her main incentive at that moment in time is not to talk about herself. If it was a party, that'd be different. No, you're at an interview. Karen wants to know the answers to her questions. So you answer her questions concisely and succinctly. And you get to the point. You don't blather on. She's busy. She's got other things going on, like firing all the white guys and creating DEI motivations and having a bunch of meetings about which color flag we're going to throw up. She's a very important, busy woman, okay? But in all seriousness, everyone at work is busy, right? Here, let's apply the principle in a different environment. Party. No one's in a rush. No one's got to be anywhere. People are getting drunk, having a good time. You couldn't ask about stupid shit about, oh, they got kids? Ask about their kids. People can't shut the fuck up about their kids. My child's amazing. No, he's really not. No, he's actually kind of dumb and slow. But, really? What does he do? Oh, he came back with this drawing. She got a picture. He looked like, it looks like the same fucking shitty drawing my niece did at half that kid's age. Oh, that's, wow, look at, oh, man, fucking Picasso here. You think so? Sure do. Touch pain now. But in a business setting, everyone's interest is to get the fuck on with their day, right? They want to go the fuck home. And the easier you make it on them to do their job, the sooner they can go the fuck home or check out at work or whatever. So you don't ask the HR lady, oh, where'd you go to school? What do you think about this? What's your favorite cut? None of that. No. You focus on what her primary interests are. And you do not add anything else unless they ask you. You might, and I'll give you a kind of a rule. There's going to be an ideal amount of information they're going to want about you, right? They don't just want cryptic black and white answers, all right? But if you're going to err on a side of caution, whether you're going to provide less information or too much information, providing less is always better because then you can ask you. Because you like a perfect interview, an interview where you answer their questions kind of in a militant type of way, and they have to do a follow-up question like, well, do you do anything for fun? That's good. That's better than when they ask you, you provide all this fucking information about, oh, by the way, everyone under 40, don't mention your mental disorder. I know your parents and the teachers and the Democrat media said it's the most amazing thing about you. It's a badge of honor. I got bipolar disease and it's no one, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. Shut the fuck up. You answer their questions and then they're like, well, it's kind of inhuman. Well, do you do anything for fun? And you say, oh, yeah, I go fishing and this and that. And, oh, okay. And having the quiet reserve guy or gal who answers the questions instead of uses and abuses the recipient of the conversation like a word diarrhea tampon to just use him as a therapist, it's over. That one, no. They'll take the quiet reserve person they don't know all that much about. It's someone who just barfs out all the words and common and discussion and all that. So, again, it depends on context. But if you're generally in a social situation and people are talking and being social, just a couple rules. For every 3 questions you ask of them, you may volunteer and provide information about yourself, but it has to be germane to the topic of conversation. For example, somebody mentions they like fishing. Oh, really? Here's an example. Where do you go fishing usually? Oh, we go up. What kind of fish you usually go for? Oh, we typically go for walleye, Do you do ice fishing? Oh, yeah. You ask 3 questions. Now it is appropriate for you to mention an anecdote about you fishing, right? Yeah, I remember. I'm not a big fisherman, but man, I remember catching my first fish with my grandpa when I was 4 years old. I still got the picture. It's a bullhead over on a small creek outside of Minnesota. Oh, Minnesota, they got great fishing. Yeah, they do. Yeah. And then you go back, talk about whatever it is. And you slowly let things out about you, germane to the topic of conversation. And over time, be like, hey, that guy's really okay. And that is going to get you way further than you telling everybody about the most important things in your mind. Because while they're the most important things in your mind, no one gives a fuck about them. No one cares about you, man. They don't care about your career. They don't care about your weaknesses. They don't care about your strength. They don't care about your hobbies. And by the way, especially young people, no one gives a fuck about your thoughts because your thoughts were all pre-programmed. They were already made in the kitchen and put into your brain. Oh my God, you want UBI too? Oh my God, why can't we just print off more? No one gives a fuck about your idea. They're not your ideas or thoughts. They were put in your head. You didn't think up that yourself. And once you realize there is no you, kind of mental gymnastics there, and there's an us, you will get much further ahead in life, whether it's socially, career-wise, or whatever. And if you're still, well, I'm a little timid, I don't want to talk, that's fine. Being quiet is great. People are like, well, what about you? And then, oh, that's an opening. I just, whatever, I'm an accountant. Oh, okay. You do anything fun? Yeah, I do this and that, If they ask you a question, you got to answer it. If you're just the quiet guy, that's better than being the barfing out zillennial talking about what antidepressants you're on. And oh my God, I hate Trump. Yeah, so does everybody else in the room. You're not special. There. Now, if you needed help, there's Toastmasters. There's the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's not a bad book. If you want, go read 48 Laws of Power. And if you have trouble with that, I have a course called The Dad You Never Had. It's everything your dad should have taught you, but didn't because your mom divorced him. Because you're all raised by fucking bunch of women in elementary school and a bunch of pansified male teachers in middle school through high school. There's other lessons you probably want to learn. It's going to go a lot easier once you learn how to get the world to work for you rather than you forcing the world to work for you. The Dad You Never Had, available at Teachable. Lovember, $2. Great one. Giving dating advice is high entertainment. It is. I love tuning into the Great One. I love his dating stories. Because the guy does. He goes out there and asks the girls out, and then they flake on him. I mean, it's just predictable. It's just predictable. And he knows what he's getting into. What I like about, I guess, with the Great One's dating stories, among his working stories and all the other stories, the dating stories is he's not like some naive middle school boy. He's fully aware of what is statistically likely going to happen. And it's speak of reciprocate, like you can't have relationships if there's no reciprocation, right? I think somewhere in there is a more fundamental uh entertainment he gets out of it, where it's like, good Lord, or it's almost like he doesn't care if the girl says yes and shows up on the date. He's more fascinated, morbidly so. Like, is any girl going to show up on a date? Like, is because he's not a bad, he's a good looking guy. I won't lie. He's in good shape. He's a good looking dude. He's funny. He's charming. He's intelligent. And I've tried to set girls up with him before, but Jesus Christ, even I'm not even asking for myself. I'm asking for them. And the number of girls that just, won't even, oh yeah, sure, fine. I'm like, well, give this guy a call. Here's his number. Never happens. It's more of a like, are any of you girls ever going to go out with any guys? Like, okay, he's not Mr. Minnesota, he's not Mr. South Dakota. He hasn't got he doesn't enter no competition, but he's a good looking guy. He is. By the way, ladies, if you'd like to be introduced, email me and watch. We know how this is going to go. Yeah, so it's more of an interesting philosophical thing where you're just like, wow. And then his now we're in South Dakota. Okay, it's single mom central. Any hot girl in this state already has kids and tattoos. And so go, yeah, I was far away, and I was like, oh, that's a cute girl. I'm gonna go talk to her. And then as I got closer, yeah, there's the tattoos. Yeah, sinlibsoc.com, Cynical Libertarian Society, sinlibsoc.com. Be prepared for someone not being a fan of non-straight white males. Just letting you know now. Dre, $2. Our well-endowed black agent in the field. Did you hear that women are poisoning men trend? Yeah, okay. Are they? Is there someone that actually went to the hospital? Are there multiple men that went to the hospital? Or is this just the latest thing on the internet? I'm sure some women, to get attention, like the idiots that shave their head, we're not sleeping with men. I'm sure women are trying to poison men. Have men ever tried to poison women because they voted Democrat? I don't think that happened. I just want to point out who the real tyrants are. Men never went over to Japan and said, you must get rid of the men in your magazines because it's sexist, but the UN Women's Commission did. Boy Free Lifestyle, thanks for everything you do for us. Just helping you guys out. Look, you get that lesson down. Once nobody cares about you, shut up. Once you get that down and you go into social situations or business situations and say, what's their primary interest? At a party, it's for them to talk about themselves. At a business, it's for them to get their fucking shit done as quickly as possible. I mean, especially business. If you make it, the best employee or the best coworker it has is the one who takes the least amount of your time, because that person already knows what you want, has already done all the work to like, yep, this, that, here's your answers. Need anything else from me, boss? All right, bye. They're going to like you a lot more than, God, I remember one time. It's a different story. Everyone wasted my time. There was a gal, boss of mine, wasted my fucking time. Same thing as a boss. You want your employees to work for you better? Don't waste their fucking time. Don't drag them into meetings. Ken Rose, he says hello for $2. Hello, Ken. And Raphael, $5. Cappy, how does a quiet guy deal with chatty coworkers that want to start drama at the workplace? Well, you ignore them. I mean, you got to give me, I'm not fishing for another super chat, but you kind of got to give me some context. Are you stuck at an office? Like, do the girls, boy, Freudian slip. I just got to assume the girls are chatty. It's not the guys. My sexism shows, my unconscious sexism shows through. Or maybe you girls should shut the fuck up. Just me. It depends, Ralph. I mean, it really depends. I mean, how does a quiet guy deal with, okay, that want to start drama at the workplace? I'm just going to assume you're working in an entry-level place where your average coworker is in their 20s. You don't have a real degree. You don't have a real skill. It sounds like you're working at a cell phone store or some low-ranked entry-level white collar job, like maybe a call center or something. The fact you have chatty coworkers in your office who are also trying to drum up drama at the office, that just indicates to me you're not like a senior engineer at an engineering firm. You're stuck in the trenches of World War I. Okay, Ralph? I've used this analogy before. You don't want to be stuck in the trenches of World War I. You don't want to be those guys in the trenches. You have no fucking clue what's going on. You're surrounded by piss and shit and mustard gas. Right? You want to be up flying high above the battlefield in a fighter plane or a bomber. Now, they died actually rather quickly too, but I'm just saying at least you don't have the confusion. You got to get out of that situation. So the best way, how do you deal with it? You get a real degree. You get a real job. You get a real career. It's not linked below, but I recommend accounting as an option. I have a course out there called The World's Greatest Accounting Career. It teaches you how to go and start making money as an accountant with or without college, and more importantly, remotely and self-employed. All right. But you gotta become an engineer. You gotta become a surgeon. You gotta become an accountant. You gotta become something that you got a plumber, a truck driver, security guard. No one's fucking bothering you at night as a security guard. So you need to change your environment because it just seems, Cappy, how do I'll pick on the cell phone store people again. Okay. Cell phone store, you're not going anywhere if you're working at a cell phone store. Right. Just saying. The problem, there's nothing you can do to change that environment. You're in a shit environment that attracts shit people. You're going to have chatty Cathys, and they're going to want to start drama. You need to get out of that shit. All right, so that's step one. Let's say you're stuck there for the time being. All right. If there's a way to have a sign, when I used to work, people would put a sign up, do not interrupt, right? Now, that's going to piss off all the fraggy-vaggies in your low-rank shit-piss office. So what you might want to do is talk to your boss like, I'm trying to do work, but I got people talking too much around me. And I would, this might take a little bit of pre-planning, but I would go find if there's a mental disorder you can claim, like an audible, like if you get too much noise, it distracts you and it gives you a migraine, some kind of fucking bullshit like that. Say, I suffer from epilepsidosis. Oh God, epilepsidosis. What's that? It's like when chatty fucking broads don't shut the fuck up around me, I get migraines. Oh God, I didn't know you had a disability. Well, it's not really, but if there's a way, can I get like a sign? Could you talk to ever say, look, oh, poor Ralph, he suffers from epilepsiditis. And then the girl was like, oh my God. And then he's going to put up a sign. If you guys could just leave him be so he doesn't get his migraines, just right. So I think like a curveball like that might solve your immediate problem. But otherwise, then it's just really an issue of logistics. Okay, so you could try that. Can you go work somewhere else? Is there a place do you have open office space, or are you parked right there in the center of the cubicles? Can you move your cubicles somewhere else? Can you get to the back office? Can you go to the basement? I don't think they're going to let you do remote work. Is there a time when the chattiness starts? Can you take lunch when the girls all jibber jabber? Notice I'm just assuming it's girls because guys usually don't create drama at the office. And then avoiding drama, you just don't get involved in it. You just don't. I wish I had more for you, Ralph, but the issue is to get a skill and an ability to leave that office and that type of job. You need to get the fuck out of There was a gal. She reached out to me. Same kind of problem. She had a degree in accounting. I was completely confused. She was an officer in the military. She went, young Hispanic gal, I believe. Went into the military, ROTC, went to college, and then she's working at some shit piss place in this drama. And Shaniqua said this. I said, oh, look out. I said, oh, you don't do that, and talk to the hand. And oh my God. And then she reported me. I'm like, whoa. Hold on. You were an officer in the military. You got a degree in accounting. What are you doing rolling around with the pigs in the mud? Saying I remember like, well, she was disrespecting me. Are you fucking joking? Are you joking me? Who gives a shit if some piss shit lowlife disrespects y'all? What do you get out of there? I mean, go do literally anything. Go work nighttime as a security guard. And I could only, it's been a while. I could only imagine she was stuck in that position because she had to make extra money. It's like, no. Do not roll with the pigs in mud, man. Just, you got to get out. Now, she had the benefit of having an accounting degree. I don't know why she was there. Same thing with you, Ralph. I don't know what you got to do, but man, get another job, get the fuck out. I can't imagine that job pays a lot. Have you looked at working nighttime? Have you heard of our Lord and Savior security work? Go work the third shift security. Dude, I know it only pays, well, what? Maybe like $12, $14 an hour, 17, 18, maybe if you got a carry conceal permit. Dude, you're left alone. There's a little bit at the front and the back, but you're left alone for 7 hours a night. Do you know how much fucking work you can get done on other shit? Do you know how much you can get your life in order working nighttime security? No one bothers you. It's wonderful. Ralph, $2 at a hospital in the most of the. I know it. I knew it, man. At a hospital, most of the co-workers are females. Yeah, man. You gotta. Can you get the night shift? Can you get the fuck out of there? What can you do? Oh, is it a bunch of. What's the rank? Okay, there's the rank of the nurses. All right, nurse practitioner is the top, or your specialized nurses, like the ones that help with surgery and all. Those are your top. Those gals don't fuck around. Then you got your regular old nursing nurse, registered nurse. Those gals, bachelor's degree, but still. And I've never seen a happy nurse. Never seen it. Then you get, is CNA the one where you learn you take a weekend course on how to annoy people and give people shots and draw blood, and they give you, those are the ones you got to look out for. You got to get out of that, man. Yeah, can you volunteer on the night shift or something? Oh, poor Ralph. Poor Ralph. Christoph Anon, $2. Drama, be pleasant, but discuss only business. Yeah, well, Ralph's not creating the drama. I guarantee he ain't creating the drama. He wasn't a middle school girl at any point in his life. He's got different priorities and value systems, like being left the fuck alone and making money and going home and being a professional. He knows not to create the drama. And God damn it, Ralph, avoid that drama. Stay the fuck away from that shit. And do not date the nurses. Date nurses at other hospitals. Don't date the ones you're working with. The plaintiff, $5. The problem is a lot of big corporations are all the same regardless of department. The office gossip is omnipresent. Right. Which is again why long-term goal of everyone should be to get the fuck out from employment and become self-employed. That's not possible for everybody. But like I said, becoming a surgeon, you deal with a lot less of this shit. Someone can say, Bipsy complained that you looked at her funny, and then you're the heart surgeon of one of three at the department, and you're like, yeah, fuck off with that shit. Yeah, well, she's lying. Now, can I get back to saving lives? Or do you want me to go to the other hospital? Okay. Yeah, I'm going to assume you're smart enough to know that that's a bullshit, and I'm going to get back to my job. Oh, sorry, doctor. So, yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, we're taking this complaint seriously. Fine, I'm done. Goodbye. I'm going to go work at the other hospital that needs me more. Shut the fuck up. I went to medical school for, 8, 9, 10 years? I'm not dealing with petty middle school girl drama. And you will be a manager and make sure I don't. Yeah, this is why, and it's universal. And forget gossip. There's politics there. Get the fuck out. You either become incredibly skilled, valuably skilled, where they need you more than you need them. Oh, by the way, don't actually harass the nurses. Don't be a dipshit. I mean, this is assuming you're not doing any of that, right? you get an indispensable skill. So you're inoculated against this. Work the third shift so you don't have to deal with this. Maybe get a job like truck driver or security guard where you're not dealing with people. Become a tradesman where you're off working on your own. You have to deal with that shit. Or become self-employed. Contract work. Contractors don't have to sit in the diversity licking black hoo-ha meetings, that the mandatory black hoo-ha licking meetings over at Target. Go look it up. No, it doesn't exist. I'm joking. But yeah, do you want to sit at diversity meetings at Target Corporation? No, I don't do that. I'm a contractor. Oh, well, we know you're a contractor, but we'd really like you to sit in this meeting. No, I will not be sitting on that meeting. I'm going home now. I'm going to go fishing. Oh, well, I am a contractor. I am not your bitch. Talk to your bitch. There's your bitches. They're the W-2 slip. Go talk to them. Go use them as your emotional business tampon. I'm a contractor. I got paid. I did my job. I'm going home. Fuck off. That's the only way. And it's sometimes going to be a long journey. I mean, sometimes a little bit short. Accounting is one of the most direct routes to getting the fuck out. Me and Chad are estimating 3 years working in the industry, and you could kind of go off on your own. 3 years. And if you want it, there's the course. The World's Greatest Accounting Career. Link below. It's also available on Teachable. Ask Bucket, $5. I have my own office at work and people still bother me. I just don't answer the door to people who come and see me. Avoid the phone, utilize email and Teams. Yep. Yep. Just because someone's there, I get a sign. Like if you got an office, I get a sign, do not disturb. And then you could flip the sign around for like maybe 45 minutes that says, please disturb. And then it'd be that would almost train people. Like people know he's, if the do not disturb sign is there 7 out of 8 hours a day, and then you flip it at the same time every day, please disturb. What's going on? Everyone lines, oh God. And then they start lining up to your schedule and they get to the fucking point. Okay, then you flip it back, do not disturb, you get back to work. I mean, you could do that. I mean, my question is how much power and position of power does Ralph have? Like if he's a surgeon, I'm sure he could just be like, hey, don't bother me. Go sit in your office or whatever. But if he's an orderly, he's fucked. Yes, Bucket, got that one. Christoph and I'm $5. Healthcare workers. While being a med courier, I had never been hit on so much in my life. Yeah, I never had that happen to me. I worked at a lot of hospitals, working security. The nurses were not. Unless I am truly a situational alpha. It's almost exclusively I got girls through dancing or being a teacher, up front. And here I am in we have pretty badass looking uniforms. I rarely got any girls through work security, especially at the hospital. Not once. There's never a girl that came up to me. Yeah, there were girls around. Sure, there were cute girls, but not once. That never. Oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, they're off doing their thing. Okay. 5N, 4K, 3 dork, $2. I'll sit in the meeting, but it's 10 times my usual rate. Yeah. Oh, if you're a contractor, I don't do meetings. No, I'm not doing your DI sexual harassment shit. No, you're going to assume I'm an adult, and I'm not going to do those things. No, I won't be doing that. Yeah, I'm not sitting in your regular meetings. No. I mean, does it have something to do with me? Or is this one of them business meetings where it has nothing to do with anyone, but the boss just wants to jerk off his dick in front of all of us talking about himself? Oh, it's a jerk off meeting? Oh, no, I'm not attending that. Well, then fire me. You're one of 9 clients I got. I don't need, and I'm a minimalist on top of it. And no, I'm not divorced and I don't have alimony. I don't have child support. So find some little bitch who can be your slave. Not me. I'll show you, said the HR lady. I'll sleep with you because you stood up to me. Oh, but you're fat, so I don't want to. So leave me alone. You're fired. And that's corporate America. Ask Bucket, $2. I have a sign on the door and people still knock. Bring it in. If that happened to me, I'd signal them in. And then they open the door. I say, look to your right. And they look to the right. I say, read that to me. It says, do not disturb. All right. What don't you understand about the English language? Is someone on fire right now? See, you need a position of authority to do this. Like, what do you want? Remote work solves all this shit. It solves all this shit. All right. The world's greatest accounting career. Link below. Also on Teachable if you want to search it. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.